Hi, everybody. Pen here with Yogacises. I'm thrilled to have Kate Sassanelli here. We met in a yoga teacher group, and I was looking for interviewees, and she volunteered and said agreed to do this. Really excited to have you here. So let's just share where you're from. And I'm located in New York, New Jersey area, and that there's a time difference, so we were trying to figure out like what's the best time to get this done, and I'm glad that we're able to figure that out.
Yeah.
So I'll let you take over in terms of like maybe start with a little bit about you and how you started your yoga journey and when.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Kate Sassanelli. I'm founder of Sass Yoga and Wellbeing, and hopefully from my accent, you'll be able to tell that I'm based in the UK. I'm actually living in a little village called Delft in a wider area, Saddleworth, which is north of the UK, sort of probably half an hour from Manchester and about half an hour from Leeds. So they're the two biggest cities closest to me. So I'm living in a village. Village life is wonderful, and I'm loving teaching yoga here and having a business in the area. I have been teaching yoga for I think it's probably about 4 years. Time flies so fast. This might actually be my 5th year. And I started really because it was something that went really well with the fitness that I was into at the time. I'm originally a fitness instructor and a personal trainer, so I've done a lot of high intensity stuff, weightlifting, running, all that kind of stuff. And yoga was kind of completely the opposite to everything else I was doing, but I knew that I would really benefit from it. So I started initially because of the physical benefits, and then I slowly realized over time that there were lots of mental benefits as well. It really helped me clear my mind and just calm down and just feel a bit better about myself, really, which came in handy because I started with severe panic attacks and anxiety probably when I was about 19 maybe, so probably 15 years ago now. And I obviously looked a bit more into the yoga benefits for the mental side and decided that I'd do it a little bit more and have a regular practice. And I soon found that it was really helping my anxiety and my panic attacks. And I fell in love with it, to be honest. And from falling in love with it, I'm an all or nothing girl. So I decided this would be the next thing for me to teach. I would become a yoga teacher as well as a fitness instructor and a personal trainer. I'd become a yoga teacher. So I studied hard, took exams, anatomy and physiology, which I already had a good background in anyway, and became a yoga teacher sort of after a couple of years of studying. And now it's absolutely my life, and I want to share the benefits, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. It's absolutely changed my life from being a nervous, unconfident, anxious mess is the only way I could really put it. I feel so much better. Of course, I do still suffer with a bit of anxiety and panic, but now I feel totally in control. And I want to share that with as many people as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad that yoga and the whole mental and physical practice helped you go through your mental challenges. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So recommendation, like what techniques that you used or practice when you teach that helped your clients, since this is mental health month. May is mental health month, and a lot of people are like posting about mental health and the challenges, and you see it a lot more common in terms of like depression and anxiety, and people are like trying to find different ways to help with that. So what are your tips and
Well, all my students and even those that have not yet practiced with me know that I'm here to help them in any way, whether it's as a listening ear or whether it is to practice yoga. Probably the biggest thing that I promote, particularly people who are dealing with stress, anxiety, any kind of mental health concerns, is how much the breathing can help in yoga. And we really pay attention to our breath right from the start of class. I'm not a wrap you in cotton wool and I'll let you sleep all, for the next hour. I do believe in all-round fitness, strength, flexibility, mobility, balance, endurance. So I do like to challenge my students, but they all enjoy that. They all know that they can take a breather at any point. There are plenty of modifications and alternatives. And I think the physical practice that I teach, mainly focused around vinyasa flow, distracts them. So takes their mind off anything that's going on in life that is stressing them out or upsetting them. That hour, they forget about it, and all they can do is focus on what they are doing right there and then. We include, like I said, lots of breathing, and I'm very open with my students about my own mental health issues and my own challenges. And I find that by being really open and honest, it helps other people open up as well, and they feel normal and they feel accepted and safe, and they know they can come to me with absolutely any concerns whatsoever.
That's great. I love the holistic approach, and the fact that you just basically focus on the breathing. And I like you mentioned during that hour of vinyasa, they can really just forget about whatever they're dealing with, and they can actually bring that feeling into basically off the mat, right, into their whatever they're doing, and continue that peaceful, calming state.
Yeah, exactly. So they can start on the mat, and some people do come to class in not a good place. So they start on the mat, they listen to me, they switch off, they practice the physical side of it, and then they do feel better at the end. And I then hope that better feeling will continue, at least for a few hours. So they can, while their head is clear, their mind is clear, they can then focus on personal strategies to kind of work through whatever they're going through.
That's awesome. What about, so what age groups do you teach? Like, yeah.
So I teach adults. Probably the youngest I've had in a class, I've had occasional sort of teenagers in class, but they've normally come with a parent. So my classes are really focused adults, 18 plus, with my average client, the age is probably late 30s to late 50s. So I do have quite a mix, a complete mix of abilities, levels. I've got plenty of guys that come to class as well, which is really great for me, a real achievement, because I know that it can be difficult for men to come to yoga when there's that belief that it is majority women, and it is majority women, but I do have a good lot of male yogis who are committed to their practice.
It's interesting to think of like the history of yoga and how it shifted, right, in terms of who's practicing, men, women.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really strange, actually. And I should probably mention that a bit more often to my male students, because, yeah, looking back at the history, it was a man thing to a certain extent. And now, although it is majority women, I do encourage men to just give it a go and, put the fear aside of being in a class full of women. Just focus on yourself. So I encourage the men to really try it. And thankfully, my husband is an advocate of yoga. He regularly attends my classes. So he will happily talk to his male friends and any other guys who are questioning yoga. He will happily, support it and say, get there, give it a go.
That's great that our spouses support what we do and go to our classes, but how would you deal with the situation where their spouses are not too supportive, or they themselves are resistant or not willing to give yoga a try to help them with their mental health?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, I am really grateful that I have a supportive partner. He is literally supporting me through every decision, dropping my corporate job, working part-time, yoga becoming a major part of my life, and he's just rolling with it. But I do know some people who struggle with that support. And it's a real difficult one, because I can imagine that it probably knocks your self-confidence and your self-belief. And I therefore, to those people who don't have that supportive partner, I would say really work on your own personal mindset. And I think if you can, work on your self-confidence, your self-belief, and really focus on the benefits of what you're getting from yoga, and asking yourself the question, could I live without it? If the answer is no, I couldn't live without it, then that yoga is right for you. And it will be difficult initially, but I think over time, to come to just accept it as something you do solo. And, we all have, my husband's an ultramarathon runner. I personally couldn't think of anything worse. So, I support him and I accept him, but I'll never do it. And he knows that. I haven't got the head for it. So he's accepted that, it's not my thing. It's not my cup of tea, but it certainly doesn't stop him from enjoying it himself. I think you need to really look at, do I love this? Do I enjoy it? And if you do, then nothing should stop you.
Sometimes, no matter what, the partner just won't do what you do. But at times, maybe I'm thinking in terms of at the beginning, they may not be supportive because they haven't seen the change yet. They haven't seen how it will benefit you. But then, as you continue, you notice that they notice that you're actually improving and seeing the difference. And they'll be like, it's actually working, and then they'll jump on board.
Yes, that is a really valid point. Some people need proof before they can believe in something, and yoga is definitely one of those things that, for a lot of people, this miracle, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't happen overnight. You might not notice or experience the benefits straight away, but I say to everyone, stick with it. Don't just go to one class. Don't just go to one teacher. Push yourself to continue if you like the current teacher that you're with, or go and try other teachers, try other styles, because once you find the teacher and once you find the style that suits you and you start reaping the rewards and the benefits, then there's proof. There is absolute proof. And my friends, my family, my husband have all seen the proof in me as a person.
the finding different teachers, trying different classes and styles of yoga is really important, because like we're working with energy, right? We're dealing with relationships, and this has to do with like compatibility. Like, you know, one teacher might be great for you and might not just work out for another person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I, you know, majorly tell my students to, you know, go and try as many styles as you can to find that one that works for you. You know, there's so many different teachers, and it's not just styles, it's different personalities, it's different people. And I totally believe, and it's certainly from my experience with my own practice, that you have to find the teacher that you bond with, that you connect to, that you trust, that you believe in what they're saying. And once you find that, that's when you fall in love with yoga.
How would you basically narrow down to the specific style or the specific teacher that you follow? Because you know, there are some people with this shiny object syndrome where they just want to try everything and never like stick to something, never be consistent with that one thing. It's because eventually I think you kind of need to like stick with one mentor, one teacher, or you know, so that how do you, for people that just can settle down on one style, and they'll probably just confuse them more, you know.
Yeah. Again, that's a tough one, to be honest. I myself, although I love teaching vinyasa, I don't like to be pigeonholed into I'm a vinyasa teacher, I'm a yoga teacher. And I love certain elements of vinyasa because I've got a dance background, but I am very heavily focused these days on sustainable yoga. So moving our body in the way it moves naturally, mobilizing our joints, strengthening our joints and our muscles. So for me, I don't want to be pigeonholed into a style. So people that come to my classes, I want them to come for me because my style is quite varied. But I think it's down to the individual person. If they really want to do something, or if you really want to do something, then you will make the effort to find something, and you'll also commit that time to, you know, going regularly or creating a regular practice. I think it all comes down to how much you want something in your life, or you want something to change, or you want to introduce yoga because of a specific reason, whether it's physical or mental.
Right. Like, even though I say people tend to eventually stick to one, but in the end, with vinyasa or high yoga or something, and then if you get an injury or whatever, then maybe the next day you just want to do restorative yoga, you know. So it doesn't really, it can still change, it can still be fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I myself go to different classes myself. I don't go to all vinyasa classes at all. And I love a good hour or an hour and a half of restorative. I think all the styles have their own benefits, and that's why I would say go and try them all, and you might find one that you like more than the others. But then the next week or the next month, you might need something more. So, you know, vinyasa can sometimes be quite high intensive. Power yoga can be sometimes quite testing. And if you're not quite there, but you just need time on your mat for one reason or another, then a restorative class would be perfect. So I encourage people to mix their practice up permanently. You know, don't just go to one teacher, one style. You might find a teacher that you really like, and that's great, but don't push any other styles aside. You know, give it a go if you can.
Right. And also depends on their personality too. Like some people just
Absolutely.
like fast pace, and some just more like slow down, especially how their daily routine is. If
Yeah.
it's too much during the day, then they might need to wind down on the mat. But then if they don't do as much during the day, if they're sitting a lot, they might want to do like a high intensive, sweaty yoga class just to balance that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, totally agree. And that's why I love the fact that there are so many different teachers, so many different styles that come under this umbrella of yoga, that you could do yoga and it will tick any box, whatever your personality or your objective is for actually doing it, whether you want to get really sweaty and ache the next day, or whether you just want to switch off and then climb into bed as soon as you get home and have a great night's sleep. And that's why I love the fact that yoga isn't just one thing. It's not just yoga is yoga. Like a high intensity fitness class is a high intensity fitness class. But you go to yoga and you can experience so many different teachers, styles. I just think that's such an amazing point for us yoga teachers and for yoga in general.
It's especially not just different styles and different teachers, but yoga has really evolved. Like people do yoga, people do it on the water with the board, and
Yeah.
people do like chair yoga on the plane. Like it could be anywhere, even like on the bed. They have AM, PM yoga. You can do stretches and things like that. Even on the bed, it can even be anywhere.
You can do it anywhere. You can do it while you lay in bed. You can do it in your hotel room. You can go to a studio. You can do it inside, outside. It's just amazing. You're probably bringing even more of my passion out here, Pan.
Right.
Just highlighting more reasons why I love it so much.
Right. That's awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add to
the big thing for me at the moment is I know the benefits. I wouldn't teach it if I didn't fall in love with something, because I know I don't teach fitness classes anymore. I'm not a personal trainer. I am solely focused on yoga because of how amazing it really is. And probably my one message to anybody out there who is curious or who just wants to give it a go, I would just say, just do it. Just give it a go. Find a class near to you that's at a time that's convenient, and just go. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let embarrassment or worry or wondering if you're wearing the right clothes, or do I need a mat, or am I flexible enough? Forget all of that. Just book it, go and try it. And then if you don't like it, don't let it put you off. Find another class and go again. Because I just think everybody, life would be so much better for everybody if they did yoga. And I'm not saying that as a yoga teacher. I'm saying that as someone who found yoga and is living so much of a better life, physically, mentally, emotionally. I just think everybody needs it in their life, whether it's 15 minutes a day or 90 minutes a day. Just try it. Just go and do it.
That's so true. Just do it. Speaking of just do it and just go to a nearby yoga studio. Now they have Groupon and they have all those crazy deals, like $30 for like a whole month, unlimited. And you can just try different classes, try different teachers, try different
Absolutely. There is no excuse. The biggest thing that is stopping people is fear. And I regularly, promote that. Don't be afraid. Message me if you have any questions. Ring me if you have, and there is no stupid question. I still go to classes now and, you know, places I've never been before. And I'm like, oh, you know, where's the entrance? Where's this? Oh, does anybody have specific places? I still think things, even though I'm a yoga teacher, because that is completely normal. And, you know, the good thing about yoga students and yoga communities is everyone is so welcoming. If I'm busy speaking to somebody and somebody new walks into one of my classes, I don't need to worry about that. I know that one of my students will say hi, how are you doing? We've not seen you here before, it's your first time, and we'll happily just help people settle in. And that is an amazing thing about the yoga community.
That's amazing. Speaking of reaching out to you, how can they find you? Like your website, email, if they have questions or
right, okay. So I have a website which is www.sasyoga.co.uk, and SAS is spelled S for sugar, A-double-S for sugar. So that's www.sasyoga.co.uk. I'm also on Facebook as Sas Yoga and Wellbeing, and I'm on Instagram as Sas Yoga Life. So anybody can reach out to me and ask me anything about yoga, whether you're local to me and you want to know about classes, or whether you're further afield or across the pond and you just want to ask general yoga and movement questions. You know, I'm more than happy to talk about yoga.
That's great. I'm sure that people will reach out to you once they hear this. Afterwards, I'll post this on YouTube and also share it on all the audio part on all the platforms of podcast platforms. And then in the description, we can add that as well, or your information, and that way they can reach you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, hopefully between the two of us, we can encourage more people to at least try it and give it a go.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm definitely going to share this with people that are going to be needing this.
Oh, good.
Thank you so
Lovely
much.
Lovely talking to you. Lovely to speak to you.
To speak to you too.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.